Hey guys, how's it going? Danconia here, welcome back to Overwatch. So, we recently had Hero 32 go to the PTR. I say recently, it was a couple of weeks ago now. Obviously, we are talking about Echo. Echo is revolutionary in Overwatch because of the way she is, copying heroes in her ult and all that. I think we all now know what Echo is and who Echo is, and I think she's a phenomenal hero. And she is the Swansong of Overwatch because Jeff did confirm that there will not be another hero until Overwatch 2. So, Echo is the Swansong of Overwatch. And is she what we needed? Is she the Swansong that Overwatch deserved? I think so. And there are a couple of reasons for this, right? First of all, she's so different. And I know it sounds stupid to say that, but yes, she's got ideas taken from a few other heroes. You could liken her primary fire to Doomfist's hand cannon and things like that, but it's not the same. It doesn't act the same. And when I look at Echo compared to the rest of the roster, she really does stand out as, wow, this is how far Overwatch has come. Remember, we started out with, I don't want to say basic heroes, that's a bit down sometimes to say that, but we started out with very basic abilities and stuff like that, and now we're at the point where we have a hero that can copy other heroes, can dash and fly and glide and beam someone down and has sticky bombs. She's incredibly diverse and incredibly, in some respects, complicated to play because she's got so much to her kit. And I think this is a route that Overwatch has kind of gone down in recent times. You look at Sigma, and he has got an amalgamation of a lot of other people's abilities. When you look at his kinetic grasp is a lot, I say it's smaller, but it's a lot like Diva's defense matrix. Then he's got a barrier that can be likened to Orisa, but it's a bit more mobile. And he does a really good amount of damage as well. So Blizzard have been building to the point where they've been making more and more complex heroes. Save Brig. But they've been making more and more complex heroes, and Echo is now the epiphany of this, because Echo, you need to know Overwatch to play Echo. I would say, if you are new to Overwatch, you don't touch Echo. Don't even think about it, because Echo is Overwatch in some respects, if you see what I mean. She's not just got her own abilities. You have to have at least a decent knowledge of what every single hero in the game does and how it can have an effect on the game. Because if you don't, you'll never use her ult effectively. You need to know who to copy at the right time in the right place. You need to know when to do that. And I think this makes Echo one of the most complex, if not the most complex hero we've ever seen in the game. And it's just like the point at the top of the pyramid, in my view, that Echo is, this is what Overwatch has become compared to what it was at the start. And this is the start of a new era where we will see more and more crazy heroes. Goodness knows what Sojourn will do when we see her when Overwatch 2 releases. We know Sojourn is coming, and she looks like she could have a really interesting skill set as well. So they've got a lot to live up to with the heroes they released with Overwatch 2 as well. Obviously, when we got the announcement of Overwatch 2, Jeff did confirm that all heroes that would be added to Overwatch 2 would be playable on Overwatch 1 because the online environment would be cross-generation. Everything in Overwatch 1 would exist in Overwatch 2 and vice versa, including maps as well. So the maps we've seen, Toronto and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they go with it in the future, because Echo is a very interesting and very complex hero, and can he ever live up to the design of such a fantastic hero? I mean, get past the fact of whether she's OP or not or whatever. Just the base design of Echo is phenomenal. And I think she is going to have a very high pick rate when she goes live. And I don't think we're that far away from seeing her go live. She has had some changes in recent weeks as she's been on the PTR. She's had her ultimate cost increased by 16%. She's also had her sticky bomb damage reduced from 30 to 25, which are actually really good changes. We needed to see this because her sticky bombs did way too much damage. I've known points where I've sticky bombed a spawn and got 2 kills off of it, and I don't think that really should be happening. So I think she's in an interesting place, and I think the problem is now, and this is the nature of the PTR, it will not be very long before we see her go live, because they need more data and they just don't get enough data on the PTR to tell them exactly precisely how to balance her. And this is why a lot of people will moan saying, well, every time a hero goes live, it's either OP or completely trash. Well, yes, that's not necessarily wrong, but the devs can tune it to a certain extent, but without data from the community, they can't do much more until it goes live and they actually get that data. So if people don't play the PTR enough, then they don't really know. I still think Echo's ult generation within her ult, so when she's another hero, she can still generate a crazy amount of ults on some heroes. I still think that might need a nerf. We might see another round of nerfs before she goes live, because I believe Jeff did say that she would have a little bit of a longer period on the PTR just because she did seem so OP when she was first launched. Now, that's all very well, but I think we're getting to the point now where people are starting to move off of the PTR, and especially with a certain game going into closed beta in, well, next week, then I think the PTR is going to crash in numbers. So I think we are going to see Echo pushed live fairly soon. Maybe not next week, but the week after next. So that will be the big teller for Echo. Is she OP? Is she not? I still think she's really strong, and I still think we will see a lot of Echo, not just on live servers, but also when she comes to Overwatch League as well, which we don't know when that will be, but I don't expect it to be too long after she goes competitive live. So I think Echo is going to really shake things up in Overwatch, because she actually, I have found, fits in a lot of different situations. Yes, she is very vulnerable to the long range hit scam, but I have seen crazy plays where people just take hold of that Widowmaker and dink the Widowmaker in the head, and that's it, you know. She is very versatile. Now, she does lend herself very well to dive. And this leads us on to another question. In recent times, I think we have seen the devs push dive more. And it's a funny place to be in. They've really come full circle. Loads of people complained about dive, then we got Brigitte, and the community has never been able to settle on the meta since. And it seems now as if the devs are saying, well, really, we want dive heroes to be a little bit stronger than they were. Because the nature of Overwatch right now, we see hero pools, and with the crazy way in which the hero pools are being managed at the moment, when sometimes you're getting 4 DPS banned, 2 tanks, something like that, it really shakes things up, and so every hero kind of has to be viable at some point. So I think there is a concerted effort to make dive heroes a little bit stronger than they were. We did see the Diva buff not so long ago, and we've also seen on the experimental card, which has just gone live, heavy nerfs to Mei, which I think we need to see, to be quite honest with you. But also we've seen buffs to Genji, and we've seen some slight changes to Pharah as well, and Ashe has been given a round of buffs, but Ashe is a very unique problem, because Ashe's time to kill compared to other heroes, and her reload time compared to other heroes, makes her very difficult to make her meta when the other heroes are available. The only time we've really seen Ashe is when hitscan is banned. Like last week, we saw McCree, Soldier, and Widowmaker banned. Ashe became very relevant because he was one of the only long range hitscans. So that's the problem with Ashe, but when you look back at things, Ashe could possibly be the weakest hero that has come out of Overwatch since its release, because she's just never ever been meta. Ana has, Orisa has, Sombra has, Brigitte has, Baptiste, Sigma, Echo I think will be, especially if we see a bit more dive at some point. Echo, I think it's bound to be meta at some point, so Ashe is a really weird one, but it's a shame. She's a really good design, but the mechanics of the way in which she shoots and her gun makes her very, very difficult to make her meta when other heroes are available. But I believe there has been in recent months a concerted effort to make dive heroes better and more viable than they were before, when they were nerfed in the dive meta and kind of never returned to that place. But I think Overwatch is in actually a surprisingly good position, and a lot of it is thanks to hero pools in terms of what we're seeing on ladder. We're seeing a lot of varied stuff. I'm seeing less one tricks, less throwers as well, in terms of, I don't want to say throwers because they're just picking Torb or something like that, but I used to see a lot of people just hogging the Torb, just sticking on a Torb or sticking on the sim, and I don't see that as much anymore. I don't know whether that's because over time some of those players have been whittled out of the community or something, but I think it's better than it has been. And in the Overwatch League we are seeing so much in terms of varied comps and in contenders as well. I think the Overwatch meta, if you will, not really, a meta doesn't exist anymore, but the meta, if you will, is in the best place it's ever been. And it will be interesting to see where the devs go from here. A lot has changed in Overwatch in the past 6 to 8 months, with different heroes and new mechanics coming into the game, and it's made it feel fresh. The question is, with a lot of the crew in the Overwatch dev department moving over to Overwatch 2 now, Jeff said this, even more people are now working on Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch since the BlizzCon announcement. So with Overwatch basically on a skeleton crew, just ticking over on its events and on its patch updates, then it'll be interesting to see how Overwatch keeps itself fresh until Overwatch 2 comes out. I am still expecting Overwatch 2 perhaps to release at the end of the year, around Christmas time when next gen consoles come out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I know this has been a bit of a weird video, but I kind of just want to get this off my chest. There's also something else, and I might do it in a video tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but all of this sudden content may be in reaction to a few things going on in the gaming world. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.